from the Wisdom Power Day. Why was it the Wisdom Power Day? Because it's like 5,000 years. So every month, like when it started, it was from the Wisdom Power Day to the end of that month. Okay? And we have House Parliament today, and we've invited people who knew the Father to come and speak. On and off, on and off, on and off. And the reason we're doing this is because everybody writing all this, everybody wants history of the moon. They're asking for history of the Father. But the only people I'm seeing writing history of the Father are people that never met him. I ain't seen nobody that met him write nothing about history of the Father. Included it. But they didn't write something entitled The History of the Father. See, all those things that was written by brothers who did research. And I'm not, but I think you would get a better advantage by meeting gods and hearing from gods, and from hearing from various gods who knew the Father, then you might get a little picture of him. This is why God was playing the tape of the Father. When you hear his voice, you hear that little country slur and that little twang, and that was him. You hear him say something, that was him. You hear him saying some things from on a zigzag plane, from the lowest term to the highest form. So what we want to do today is have the gods, earths, family members who knew him, come out from 3 to 12. So what I'm thinking is that when the speakers come, we're going to tape it. We're going to tape them, okay? And we're going to let them say what they know, what they experienced with the Father. And then, take a break, because, nobody's going to sit from 3 to 12 listening to nobody unless you hypnotize. And it ain't that kind of party. So in between our speakers, you have time to take a break, to ask questions. See, a lot of gods got questions about the Father. And this is the time, if somebody's speaking about the Father, say something that you up in the air about, ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Because the Father never wanted us worshiping his picture like Jesus. Said it out of his own mouth. He wanted us to put it all on him. One of the things he would tell us over and over again is, I told you, you God. You got to carry your own weight. Because we had the tendency of trying to lay all our burdens on his shoulder. And he would let us know, that's why I told you, you God. So that you could be God and stand up on your own 2 feet. Now, I asked Kalim, who's the brother of Black Messiah, I said, Kalim, come over to school and, let the gods know your experience. Quite a few gods are coming through. They on their own time, you can't put God on the clock. But when they get in here, when they come, I'm going to usher them right up there to that microphone, and I'm going to let them share their experiences with the Father. Right now, the best thing I could do... 85. That's 85. Yeah. You got some brothers who are like Willie, who was with the Father, because the Father was universal. I mean, the Father would go around the corner, go in the dice hole. He would shoot dice. He would win. He would lose. When you win, you're happy. When you lose, you're pissed off. He experienced all. I tell you that this man is Allah. This man showed and proved it. He didn't always win in dice. The Father would go in the bar. It was 2 bars. There was one right here called Wellsworth, and there was one right where the school parking lot is. Both of those bars too. It was a Chinese restaurant on the block, Ho Young, and he would go in there and he would eat. You know what I mean? So what I'm doing here and what I'm attempting to do here is to answer your question. Everybody want to know, what's the history of the Father? Especially gods from out of state. Send me the history of the Father. Send me the history of the Father. And I've read everything, the bomb and all that about the history of the Father. And what I've read, I always see some flaw, you know what I mean? Or some mistake. One lesson had them. And when I read something about the Father, and I come across something red, it invalidates everything else. You know what I'm saying? I just, for me, I just be like, you see what I'm saying? Because the Father would be right, God. This is the 28th Father was assassinated. He was shot. Some people hyped it up to 7 times in the head. I didn't see no bullets in his head. And I saw him laying in that elevator. All I seen was down here. I didn't see nothing up here. I don't know how many bullets it was. Somebody might know from the autopsy. But the stories are beginning to get a bit mystical. You know, you're turning into like fantasy. Some of it, not all of it. So there's a question and answer period after each speaker. And if you have questions, that's the time to answer. People who write and say that the Father's name was Clarence Jowers Smith are in error.
That's his plan, right?
Clarence Jowers was A.Allah. Miss Williams, Otis Jowers, B.Allah. That was their honorable name.
His last name come from the old earth, right?
What?
The Jowers.
No. I just said it. Miss.
Well, I ain't took no life.
See, when he got arrested, A.Allah also had a record. Okay? A.Allah, if any of y'all go back this far, is the God that used to be in the wheelchair. Okay? That was his son. That's his oldest son. His firstborn. Then B. Christine, I think they neck and neck. I don't know which one is which. You see, or which one is older. And then Christine is the daughter who some of y'all been seeing at the Parliament lately. After Christine is Debbie, the one who died last year, or the year before. How long ago was it? I got it in the paper. One who recently died, it was in the 5% of newspaper, a picture and all of that, okay? They was calling her Gil. I never knew that, but we called her Debbie. After her is C.Allah, who's Clarence Smith, Dora's son. He was at the last rally. Yeah. And after him is P.Allah, or Perry, who is down south, and who looked remarkably like B.Allah. It's like they came from the same Old Earth and Old Day. After him is Allah, a young God who I ain't seen since he was, I think, the last time I seen him was 72. When I went to Cleveland with a brother named Divine God. Because Allah had a young earth. Her name was Javasia. And Javasia was pregnant, and Javasia had a son in 1968. I believe in February. I can't tell you the exact date. And when the son was born, that was little Allah. That was the last one that I know of. When the father got hit on this day 28 years ago, shortly afterwards, a year or two, Javasia moved to Cleveland, Ohio. And one of the gods became her God. And the God who became her God name is Divine God. When they moved to Cleveland, Ohio, he came back to the city one time. He took me to Cleveland with him back in '73. I remember. Because he took me out there and he wasn't trying to help me get back here. And I was in college. And I had to go back to school. And I got back, but I was out there with them for 10 days. And I seen Allah, and I seen he had gave Javasia a son afterwards too, whose name is Divine God. Now, something happened with Allah's youngest son. I think his mother got busted and went to jail. I know Divine God was in jail and did a bid. I hear he's out in Chicago now. Last I heard, he was out of jail after he did about 10 years or more, and he's in Chicago. But Javasia got busted, so I think the city took the kids, and from what I hear from Knowledge God, who's Javasia, Mecca is Javasia's sister. And Knowledge God is her God in California, San Jose somewhere, is that Allah, they call him Aaron, the baby I'm talking about. And Divine God, they call him David. And that they feared that somebody might try to do something to them because of who his father was. Allah feared that. So what I'm hearing now is that I'm trying to get a picture of him, that's all. I got a picture when he was a little guy, you know, when I went to Cleveland and I took a couple of pictures of them. And that's 4 years ago, from 73. So the whole idea is, with the history of the Father, is the same way you see gods now, the total population of gods, you see God drinking, that don't make them less God. You see God smoking cigarettes, smoking joints, sniffing cocaine and all that other stuff. The Father used to be active in all of that. I got to tell you the truth. The Father didn't walk around with white robes on. You understand? The Father did not walk around with halos and staffs and, you know, looking like Moses and all that shit. Excuse the French because I don't plan to curse. The Father looked like you and I. Like you see God's looking today, that's how he looked. He looked very much like his son looks today. Clarence. He looks very much like his daughter. I look at his daughter, and she said, "Why you always staring at me?" And I say, "Because every time I look at you, I be seeing her." She look a lot like him. I mean, besides the female aspect, the face, it boggles my mind. When I sit back and look at her, I just be like, you know, tripping like. Because I'm a young man when that happened. I'm 18, 28 years ago. And I'm being educated, and I'm really close to him, because at the time, this was my home. This is where I had to live. It's the only place I had to live. So I didn't know then, but I was getting a whole lot. And what's important to me is that when I say we still here, I mean here. We in the same place. Now some people say, well, y'all should have this, and y'all should have that, and y'all should have more, and y'all should have this, that, and the other. I say ain't nothing in comparison to God. And if you just compare me by how much material, see, I look at how much this nation done grow, not how much property we got. Big cars and big homes, or which one of us got rich, because we wasn't taught that way. We wasn't taught to make ourselves rich, but we was taught, carry this message to the young that the black man is God. Carry this message to the young. Teach them to stop looking in the sky for God. And this nation has done that, A+. They get an A+ for that. Okay? I'm hearing it on the radios, I'm hearing it, Erykah Badu, I'm hearing it. What's her name? Lauryn Hill from the Fugees, I'm hearing it. You know what I'm saying? So I know that somebody's out here making knowledge born. And it's the greatest asset. Now, we come to a time where we do need to build for all these people we done got. And we come to a time where we do need to come together and say, okay, now, we need something for our babies. And that's the idea of us sitting here on this gold mine. I don't care how it looks to you. If you check out how much this square we sitting on, not just this building, if you check out how much this half a block we sitting on is worth, real estate-wise, you'd be in the millions. And what you put here makes it even more in the millions. So what I'm saying to you, young gods and young earths, is the way the Father brought us together is through, he taught every god what they needed strength in. See what I'm saying? And I don't know, all I can say is a master educator. Now what you want to know about him, ask me. Because I want you to ask all them questions that you've been wondering about. Yes. Any questions?
What was his relationship with Mayor Lindsay? And about the trips that happened, the trips to the different parks and whatnot. Tell me more about that.
Mm-hmm. The relationship with Mayor Lindsay began when I was upstate. Umala, want to take it?
Yeah.
Now, you want the microphone?
Do I need one?
Yeah.
Do I need one?
Here go microphone. We want to tape all. Umala will take it from here. Let me go find some more brothers. The mic is back here.
Oh, I ain't gonna
Umala will take you from that era. I was in reform school. He the best know.
And now you doing the reform, right?
The mic is back there, though.
Okay, but how do you
But you go ahead. Do it any way you want.
Okay. I have a loud voice. You know, but it's taping. Yeah, we're gonna tape it. No, it doesn't matter. I'm just. I'm gonna do knowledge to it. Peace. 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 My name is Kalim from Mecca. Before I get into Mayor Lindsay, when I first came into the knowledge of myself, it was a time in which there was a lot of blackness around. I came into the knowledge of myself looking for karate. Really, I stopped up at the Y and outside the Y, and I seen the Harlem Six. They was arrested, but outside they had young brothers and sisters telling the police, "Come on out, we gonna kick your A-dash-dash." And I said, "Damn, they challenging the police." So I went over to the YMCA, in which Curtis, Gordon, Zulu, and also Donald Washington, who just passed Hassan, they said, "You want to learn some karate? You go down 127th Street and you learn it from the Blood Brothers." I said, "The Blood Brothers? Who they?" They said, "Man, you go down there, you learn karate." And I came downtown on 127th Street like on a Saturday, and I saw brothers inside the schoolyard practicing. And there was a brother outside cutting people's hair. It was just shaving my hair bald. And the brother said, "You want to be a brother?" I said, "Mm-hmm." And he said, "You sure?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "You ready to get your hair cut?" And I said, "Yeah." Next thing I know, I went home bald head. And I hung with the brother. And I learned a little bit of something. I'm not going to say what I learned because I ain't no master at any of it. But through the years, through that time on, and most of those brothers used to come to what we call Harlem, which was the beginning of Harlem Youth Unlimited. They used to come to the Afro Hut. They used to come to, there was jobs out there for community, technician, and stuff like that. So we all band together. When I came, I didn't even know there was a father. I didn't know Allah even existed. So when I went to school, I went to Dean Clinton for a half a year. And through going to school in our days and times, otherwise I got kicked out. Before they kicked me out, I went down to commerce, and I signed into commerce. So the next year I started in the commerce. Then that's when the lessons started coming into me. Before then, the brothers used to teach out their mouth. Have you not heard your word before? Or what, stuff like that. And educating you to your degree, which is your age, educating you to the 14th, 15th, and 16th degree, educating you to, you have to have knowledge. So, coming past that up to when I met the father, we all went down the court. Everybody said, "You going to court today?" "Yeah, I'm going to court." So we all left. And we was called the sons of Almighty God Allah. We started out letting the city call us blood brothers. but amongst us, we was calling ourselves the Son Almighty God Allah. And through that, knowledge started to bloom. We and me and Lindsay, a matter of fact, I met the father in 1966 on August 25th. My birthday was on August 31st, and I went to Mattawan, and I walked in there, peace. I walked in the room, and the father said, peace, son, and I walked in there. You know how people's mind is, who this little man? Like that. But God, when I left there, when I came from Mattawan, and I came back down here, I don't care how you glow. You have a glow that's a glow. And you just got to let it out. The father said, like that, he said, well, today is wisdom, power. Through your wisdom, I see your power. Through your power, I see your wisdom. That's how we used to greet each other. It's not like today, how you doing? Like today is knowledge, understanding. So you say through your knowledge, I see your understanding. Through your understanding, I see your knowledge. That's where you get your culture. That's how we started out teaching. So my experience with the father is past, but to get to your question, then get back there. When the father came out of Mattawan in '67, he came directly to us. Part of that was dealing also with the mosque. The mosque was saying that we having problems with the 5%ers be calling the Muslims and the Muslims, because we didn't call ourselves 5%ers. When I went up there on the 25th, the father said, yes, son, you are the 5% in the pole part planet Earth. I said, oh, 5%. I was up there saying I was the Son of Almighty God Allah. And we saved the city. We were so many. The father used to tell us, he said, you don't treat my sons and educate my sons will burn down the city. And the mayor's urban task force got together and they sent different ones to different areas to organize. And through that, they sent Barry Garland, who was a Caucasian man and a Jew, up here to speak to the leaders. And part of that, through that phase of it, and through the phase of us all building together, they asked the father, what do you want for your children? And the father said, he said, what do you want for your nation or your whatever? And the father said, well, I want...
It's too crowded. We got to take it to the yard. The chairs are there. The young guys are wiping the seats out. We need to pull all this outside so everybody can be comfortable.
All right.
Okay? And we
so
continue once we get to the yard. Somebody threw the ring back up. Thank you. Who did it?
So much history. I gotta give me a big old hug. I know. There's so much history. You gotta go through,
No, we got to. We need God to help move. We need God to help move that board.
And Barry Goddard told him, he said, well, I'll go talk to the man and I'll come back and tell it to you. I'll come back and I'll, tell it to the father. We had a parliament up in Mount Morris Park. We used to have our parliament. We had house parliaments, and I'll get to that a little bit later. We had house parliaments, but the father brought us together when the weather broke like this, and we went up to Mount Morris Park, which is the bell tower. And we went up there, and Barry was up there. The father, he would always come and he said, peace, sons, how y'all doing, and talk to us. But then Barry said, tell him a lot, tell him. So father said, no, you tell him. So father brought Barry in front of us, and Barry came in front of us, and he said, my name is Barry Goddard from the mayor's office, and we're trying to get you a school, and also we're trying to get you your pins, your flags. So the father said, that's what, you tell him. The next thing we knew is we had that 2122 was a barber shop, and it was turned over to us as a school. The Urban League came in and started to develop it as far as bringing teachers in, and we have what we call a street academy there. Through the process also with me and Lindsay used to send the task force to work with everybody. Now I'm talking about 67 going into 68. In 68, something happened. Martin Luther King was assassinated. And we used to, well, myself, Dumar, and quite a few brothers used to go up to City College, and we used to party up there every Thursday night. And this Thursday when we went up there, the school was closed. And they said, man, Martin Luther King passed and this and that. And the atmosphere with Martin Luther King at that time was, how a nigga gonna let niggas get killed like that? You know, dogs biting them, and they talk about we shall overcome. And meanwhile in Mecca, we were saying we was gonna burn down the city. If the city didn't do right for us, we was gonna burn them down. Through the process of opening the school, through the Mayor Lindsay's office, we started getting trips to Bear Mountain. We had free access to the Apollo Theater. Every Saturday we would meet out here with our families. We would have the matinee show for a movie, and then from there we would go into the first show at the Apollo. So we got to see a lot of groups. As a matter of fact, the Jackson Fives was the first ones we seen at the Apollo. And when we heard the name Jermaine, we said, oh, that's another 5%, you know, because before that time, there wasn't too many people with names like ours. We went to school. I myself went to School of Transition to bring my reading level up. Then I went to Harlem Prep, and I went to college. To get in some more history about the father. The father himself was somebody real humble. I mean, on the avenue, when you came on the avenue, you didn't even know there was a father around. The atmosphere was that you had to get through his sons before you even see the father. Brothers come on the avenue, peace, I want to be a 5%. We say, peace, God, what's your name? You know, how you say it this way, how you say it that way? What's the day's mathematics? You know, how you see the day's degree, how you see this, how you see that? And Father walked right by and said, peace, son, keep on walking. And the person who we were speaking to who didn't know the Father would never get to know him because he had to go through us. And that's how it was everywhere. You know, even in the evening, we'd be on the avenue, we'd be teaching. And when I say we teaching, the Father brought us back down to teaching the 120. In 66, we started getting the Law's World Manifest, the Law 360, Manifestation of the Mind, Facts of Wisdom. We used to teach all them explosive high plus lessons. You know, we didn't have how to make a bumblebee and General Muck. All those things wasn't existing at that time. But we had the best of lessons that suited us for our time. One of them, Law 360 and Law Manifestation, Law World Manifestation was one of the degrees that we wholeheartedly that this was the way we were supposed to be. If you read the degrees and if you have them, it says that after 3 generations, we wouldn't even have to open our mouths to talk to one another because our minds would be as one. We'd be communicating. 3 generations is my son, my grandson, and their son. That's 3 generations to show you what I'm talking about. You know, if we held up our knowledge. We were saying we was vegetarians. We didn't know what vegetarian was. We was eating oatmeal cookies and drinking orange juice and talking about we was vegetarians. In this day and time of vegetarian, have a whole history of food lines that they eat. We didn't know those. We stuck together at the end of the month between the 25th and whatever the end of the month was, this the 30th, the 31st, or the 29th, we would meet at what you call House Parliments to renew our history. And this is one of the things that the Father stopped when he came home. He stopped us from having House Parliments because brothers was igniting themselves as ministers, nurses, ministers, cremators, and they test us on what we knew as far as our lessons. So the lessons was taught not as, here brother, here go a group of lessons, go home and study them. The lessons was taught, sit down there, open up your book, open up a pencil, and start writing. That's how brothers got lessons. Brothers was taught from the mind. If you couldn't read, brothers would actually go over with you. Every day we went over the degrees. It's not like the day somebody asks you a degree and you say, well, brother, and brother said, well, my degree don't say what yours say. It wasn't none of that. If brother asked you your degree and you didn't say it right, he would repeat it to you if he knew it. Once he repeated it to you, he would say, do you understand or do you need it? So that the brother by mind, touch mind, they could learn the degree. It wasn't this thing where in the middle of the degree you're going to dispute, nah, that degree ain't right because mine don't say that. The lessons have been polluted and the lessons have been tampered with only because from the House Parliaments we was told that at the end of the month, tear up your lessons and rewrite all 120. And I was a bad speller, so I'm going to tell you right now, bad reader and speller, I could not throw anything away, because if I threw it away, then y'all would really have some messed up lessons. And this is how the lessons begin to change. When the father came out, he told us, son, you're dealing in high science. Go back to city science. But it's city science. He said, yeah, dealing. So then we stopped using high science. We stopped talking about the law's world manifest and how the physical and mental development of the being could be so strong. And one of the things how we used to teach, I can't even get it together, get back into what I was teaching at that time, the way I was, but we used to say that we was gods and we was made up of gases, liquids, and solids. And the brother said, can't say you're God because you ain't this and that. We said the only difference is that this wall is made up of a different gas, liquids, and solids. So everything in the universe is made of those basic elements. And this is how we taught. So when we talk about the universal biochemical and physical composition, it was like, constantly going higher and higher. The Father himself taught us the basics of getting back into ourselves as being moral. There's amoral, which you are completely disregard everything that's righteous, and there's moral. One of the things we used to do, we used to definitely hate white people, and we used to definitely go around threatening people. I mean, if you had pork, you was like, another devil. Without us saying devil, you was a pork chop, and we would go to dances and talk about, I ain't dancing that pork chop, this and that pork chop, that. But through the process of us doing that, we changed a lot of people. Because I know right now, a lot of people talk about, man, I ain't going to stop eating pork. What you mean stop eating pork? You know what I mean? That's true. Man. But we learned to stop eating because we hung together. There was no way you was going to sneak out of someplace and talk about, let me go get me a ham sandwich and come back up there and say peace. Somebody said, man, I smell peace. Because that's how we were. And when we met women, it was the same thing. Man, she fine, and all of a sudden, brother said, yeah, God, but did you science? And brother said, hey, I science, all right. But the thing about it, we even learned how to deal with them. The father refined it. He said, son, you got, because the lessons say that you got to go take everything through 1 to 9. You got to take it from knowledge to born. So if you're taking it to knowledge to born, you can't stop at 6 or 5 or 4, because anything that can't get past 6 is going to what? Distill back down. So we had to take it a level higher. And the sisters that attracted to us, surprisingly, was the ones that we didn't use the most force to try to turn around. It was the ones that when we had our back to them and we was teaching, they was always around listening. And then all of a sudden we go in the hallway of the school and find out they telling the other, you little raghead, da-da-da-da-da, and sounding like us. So those was the ones that attracted to us. Our immediate family, what I mean by immediate family, you got brothers that was the firstborns, they had their sisters and whatnot in the nation. But we had to go out there and we had to find these sisters. We had to cultivate the land. We had to cultivate them into our knowledge. And if you know the degree of facts of wisdom, they talk about the woman is the nasty, she eat the pig and all of this, and da-da-da-da. And we used to have to go through that. As fine as she was, we had to tell her, well, we don't eat pig, and I don't eat pig. They're not coming to my house. A lot of us went through changes. We went to women's houses to meet their family. And, they talk about, well, it's the eat time, want something to eat? Yeah, I'll take that. And we didn't know because we was young. I got told that I was eating pork. I said I wasn't eating no pork, and the sister said, well, every time I feed you, I knock the off the plate and give you the greens or give you this or give you that. And I said, damn, she enlightened me to this. And I'm going to tell you something. A woman will enlighten you to some stuff that you just don't feel that you're doing and you know that you're not aware of. They'll enlighten you to it because you'll be talking about, well, what did I do? Oh, God, what did I do? And they'll say, well, you been eating pork every time I come to my mother's house. I don't eat no pork. Yes, you do what you think is in them greens or what you think is in that gravy. You be saying all stuff. Now, the father, on the other hand, he used to come out here, see brothers, see the sisters, he'd tell us, son, you got some money? Take the sisters to the Japs. And we used to buy chicken fried rice, beef fried rice. Wasn't no problem. When the father wasn't here, we used to survive by going and buying pizza. And we bought pizza from the Puerto Ricans that at the time had the black sausages, the this sausages and that, but we went for the pizza. So we were survivors. In a young age, we ate what we knew we had to eat in order to survive. And through that process, now we can say, well, if you come in my house, you don't find swine. In them days and times, you go in somebody's house, brothers used to take their mama's ham and throw them out the window. Mother says, you crazy, you don't bring no food in this house. That shit ain't gonna be in here. Throw that shit out the window. But that wasn't taught to us. See, that's how aggressive we was. As far as somebody, we went to school and we taught the teachers. The teachers be talking about, yeah, this is history. And we said, man, what about Yaku history? Y'all lie, y'all came and stole our history. We used to bomb them like that. When the father came on, father said, son, when you go to school, shut up. You in school to learn. You're not the teacher. You're the one that have to get where he is and go further. So the father is the one that sort of like refined us. Even with the lessons. We had the same lessons that said skunk. We had the same lessons that say what brings it and what makes it. And the father said, no, son, we got to change that. Butt bring rain, hail, snow, and earthquake. You know how a brother is when he's talking, he said, yeah, God, but. And all of a sudden you tell him God can't use but in his word. And he'd be, yeah, God. Because but is a lie. Most people, if you look at it, when somebody is talking to you and they put the but in it, and you really want to get something from them, the but is always the bridge, that's the lie. Yeah, God, I was going to do that, but did you study your lesson? Yeah, God, I was up there studying my lesson, but. So you couldn't use but. And things like that are the things that refine us. Then when the father come out and say, son, you could use but that's born you true. That's not but. It's born you true. And we learned mathematics. Matter of fact, mathematics was our language. Kundalini. I just want to bring him the point. Kundalini got up at the Parliament and said a degree in mathematics. Am I right, Kundalini? And everybody was saying, yeah, what degree did I say? What? I got what? And I got this and that. He said the whole degree using mathematics. The whole degree. And then after that, he said the degree the way it is. And everybody, oh yeah, God, I knew that. Yeah, uh-huh. During that time, it was very hot. The weather was 100 degrees. The weather was 90. The weather was 110 degrees. We used to go to Coney Island. We used to civilize out there. Everywhere we went as a group. And everywhere we went, we would teach. On the trains, when you see them young up there talking about, yeah, this and that, we was the same young people. But except we used to say, yeah, God, get the knowledge, you know, boom, boom, boom. We'd be teaching on the train. And people would ask us a question. And during that time, too, the Muslims was out here selling Muhammad speak, and they also would be talking about, yeah, you gotta come because Yaku. We would sit there and blow them apart. We would have more history on Yaku than they did. So we taught. The father slowed us down, told us, son, we gotta be civilized. We got too much freedom. Freedom means that we ran everywhere. He said we gotta have refinement. We gotta have culture. That's what we don't have. We don't have culture. We got freedom. Run your mouth all day, tell people what they want to do, but you don't have culture. What's your culture? You got power, you willing to bomb somebody and take a bat and bash them upside their head and talk about Allahu Akbar, but you don't have refinement. So what the father did is, when he came out from 67, 68, he said, we are now the sons of Almighty God Allah. We are the 5% nation. From 68 to 69, he said, next year, we changed our name too. My original name was Kareem. And the brother said, you can't take on Kareem, the first brother, the firstborn. So I said, well, how about Akbar? They said, you can't take on Kareem neither, Akbar, because Kareem is the firstborn, Akbar is the firstborn. So I said, well, my name is Kareem Akbar. They said, brother, you got to wait on you. And another thing, knowledge of law. At the time, Dahu, another brother could not teach a brother that was being taught by a student. So when they came to me, they said, yeah, you big long tall gotta break your neck. But I'm gonna let Kareem do it. I'm gonna let Akbar do it. So it wasn't, I'm teaching you, then when I stop, this brother come and teach you, another brother come and teach you. It wasn't that type of a game. A student was a student to his teacher. To his teacher, not to all the teachers. You wouldn't get confused knowledge. And the father used to always say, I don't want to know what you know, I want to see what your seed know. So that means if I taught you, it ain't what you know, because the father know I can teach you, but what you gonna bring back to the knowledge yourself? How you gonna teach? And in them days, there was Mau Mau's, there was Mau Mau's, Panthers, there was black arts, there was all these different people with different culture that we didn't even know. And it wasn't a thing that we had to know that you was a Mau Mau, you was a Panther, you was this, you was that. The father says, son, they all must know that they are the gods of the planet Earth. They all must know. It's not a thing that, oh, you a Panther, I ain't talking to you. Are you a this, I ain't talking to you. It wasn't that type of a ball game. We crossed those lines. We crossed the lines to the point that they wanted to know our knowledge and we wanted to know what they wanted, what they had, but when it came to it, nobody had nothing but us as young people. We taught to the extent that when old people came around us, we taught. The father said, son, don't ever teach an old person. Why? Because they drain you. You the bulb and you the electric shock and they the bulb. So they ask you all type of dumb questions and you be, Allah's God, and he manifests us to be the sons of Almighty God Allah, and you be bombing them, and they say, well, why do you go that way? And then you come with this way, and then he say, why do you do that? And then you teach that way. But the thing he taught us was, you carry an older man to an older brother. He said, you bring them to us. And we had older brothers. We had Rajab, we had Ozzy. Ozzy came to the father one day and said, Allah, he said, I just want to do something for your son. He said, I got this young brother, he's been with me, and the things that he's saying out his mouth, you know, like we used to tell everybody that our parents were, the father used to say, he said, your parents was Mason, Eastern Star, they was Elks, they had the knowledge of themselves, but they never gave it to you. And they got it. So when you go home and you see your father and you tell him, I'm the son of Almighty God Allah, they looking at you like, well, son, you know, you ought to go to church on Sunday. But the reality is they go to the temple and they get the 33rd degree. They already know they gods, but they don't try to teach us. Unless we go through that what I call the lumdy-lie. Getting your behind, speak like a fraternity, and move on up until one day they tell you that your name is Akbar. Your name is you know, see what I'm saying? They drop it on you when you go through the trials and tribulation. Another thing with us that didn't happen is that in the mosque, it would take you 3 years if you was a very good student to learn the lessons. 3 years, because they would give you a strip of this, then a strip of that, and you go home and you say, yeah, why isn't that what's the best part of planet Earth? And then you go back, they give you another strip, and that's how you compile your book. With us, we got it within 3 to 4 months. If you hung out with brothers, you would learn. Now another thing, I was an older brother in them days. It seemed funny because The brothers that was 12, 11, 12, 13, they seemed like they had the most power. They had all the knowledge in the world. You go among them, you 18, 17, you say, yeah, you got some money, yeah, I got some money. And at that time, we used to do herb, and we used to drink wine. Matter of fact, they used to say shot 'em out in Blackberry. They none of this 40s and all of that. But we used to go to the house and get all nice. I got turned on to John Coltrane going to the brother house. I'm in the house and the music real low. God say, yeah, they knowledge understanding. Yeah, I see through my knowledge, I see understanding. And start building. All of a sudden he turned around, look at me and say, yeah, Kareem, yeah, what's your degree? Oh, I'm 16. What's the 16th degree? Da-da-da. You don't know it? Go in the kitchen, get the knife. But it wasn't, never get hurt. But that threat, man, I ain't staying here. I ain't gonna do that. Y'all ain't gonna hurt me. Y'all better let me out this place and all that. You would never get hurt. But when you left, and when you found that fear was going out of you, you learned your lessons. And you became a powerhouse. And you remember how you learned the lessons. I mean, younger brothers, it was like, if you was older, and you met like God Supreme, and you met Daoud, and you met Naheem, all them young brothers, when they came up on you, they would be rolling. We had what we call the Mecca walk. You would see them walking a mile away. All you see is this, arms flashing back. And that was a fighting stand too, because somebody come at you, what? You got your block. What you follow, what is you? You see what I'm saying? So all of this brought about a nation without fear. I had a fight one time, and I came to the father with a black eye. I said, yeah, Lord, I had a fight. He said, son, did you fight? I said, yeah, Lord, boy. He said, boom. He said, did you fight? I said, yeah, Lord, but boom, did you fight? I said, yes, Allah fought. He said, oh, master, come on, let's go. Get you a soda. See what I'm saying? It wasn't an excuse. In this day and time, you got a lot of brothers that when you ask them a question, oh, yeah, they give excuses. It was not, if you ask a question, answer it direct. If a brother came in here with one bean pot, and it was 8 brothers, everybody had a piece. It wasn't that, let me go outside the door and get this bean pie down before I hit this door, let me eat my meal. You wanted to share, because the knowledge that each of us would share with each other was more than what we had. See, you might understand a degree one way, another way, but when we all brought it out together, when we started talking and building on the degree, well, how you see this and how you see that, that's why brothers ask you, how do you see this degree? But the thing about it, they never tell you how they see it first. Yo, God, how do you see the knowledge now? And you be up there talking about, well, the way I see it, man, I ain't understand. What is your understanding? How could I be a teacher if I'm not educated? You see what I'm saying? So it was a whole complete different thing. Young brothers came around, the school particularly. We stayed in there. I had a choice. I didn't have to stay in there, but just like Kalim, come down there, clean up the school. You wouldn't want to go home. You'd be out there all night long talking about, yeah, I got to be in the house by 10 o'clock. 11 o'clock come. I got to be in the house by 10 o'clock. 12 o'clock come. I got to be in the house by 7. 1 o'clock come. You still with God. The older brothers used to force us to go home. Man, go home. Yeah, I just want to go home. And that's how we was as a family. That's how we was. The father took time with us. He told us that we needed to be educated. Education was the thing. We had all the knowledge in the world, but wasn't taking it nowhere. The father was here to refine us. And this day is important because of the fact that brothers like myself and Kalim was out here, and the next day, we didn't even believe, man, they ain't do nothing to Allah. No, they didn't. Yes, they did. No, don't tell me that. Because the Father prepared us. The Father told us to go to college. The Father told us that we should, the way we have our women is very important. The Father told us that if one acts funny, get another one. There wasn't no, I'm going to stay in here and the sister's giving me a headache. If I say, son, you want to correct one? Get you another one. Father told us we could have more. Father told us don't get married under the government because you marrying his system. You're not marrying your own. He's making a nation. He made a nation of gods and earth. And half of us with children having children. But that's how we begin to grow. That's how right now we are here to do this because of the fact that we were children. And the children behind us don't know the history. So that's a part of what we want to do. We want to share with you what we went through. And it's a lot. We just touching the surface of everything that happened. Peace. Oh, question. Did I answer your question about Mayor Lindsay? We stopped the riot. Mayor Lindsay came, like I said, we used to go up on Wednesday, and when Martin Luther King passed, one of the things is we used to have community relationship with the precinct. They loved the father. They would arrest the father as well as, ask him for the help. We was young, and they came to us as community organizers. They came to the father and said, Allah, we need your help in stopping the riots. We left the school and went out on 125th Street and put a circle around those leaders coming from City College talking about, they killed Martin Luther King. They killed Martin Luther King. And the father approached them with all of, we used to put circles around people. It wasn't no, I'm going straight ahead. We put a circle around them and we told them, father said, you're not going to burn down our land. You're not going to burn it down. This is ours. And the thought was you didn't like him when he was living. So why are you protesting and saying that somebody assassinated him now? Any other questions? We went upstate. He was cremated. He wasn't buried. He was cremated, but we went upstate. It was about 5 or 6 buses of us loading some cars. We went upstate. Yeah, by some. We went to that place, and a matter of fact, when we got there, they wanted us to leave before they put the cremation, because when they have a cremation, they have them there, and the crematory is right there. So all they got to do is open the door and roll him in, and then put the things, and the flames flies up, and then he's cremated. All right? One of the things that we did is we spread his ashes at Mars Park, the bell tower.
I got knowledge of yourself in 1982, but I'd like to ask a question about the father. Was these people that call themselves Eels and Lord, Sign Temple, were they our brothers then?
Let me tell you, what happened is, and I know the God, I'm not going to, what happened this brother, you know how you go places and you meet an old man and he's wise and you wonder how he get his knowledge and he trying to act like the father. I want to give you this because you need this. You need to know this knowledge. Well, what happened is one of the brothers, he tried to convince us that being a bell and being an L, an EL and an AL, and being a Bay was something that will help this nation. It would bring us into another level of us being God, and that's how that came about. It's just like brothers who come among us and all of a sudden they tell you, well, brother, I can't learn no more. I'm going to the mosque. And the father used to say, son, if the mosque come to us, go. Because brothers need discipline. Some of you need to go to the mosque. And it's just like brothers who come to us like police officers and they infiltrate us. The father said, good, because they will leave knowing that they the God. It ain't that they could hurt us because all they learning is the knowledge itself.
I also remember the Muslims. We and the Muslims didn't get along. And the 85 and the Islam called the Zulu Nation. We didn't get along with them either.
God, let me tell you something. Zulu Nation practice our lessons sometimes better than the brothers who know lessons done, because that's a part of what they are. I don't know how it started. I went to college. When I came back, brothers telling me about some Zulu Nation, and they had 120. And when we used to go to Parliament, just like anything else, you go to Parliament, you meet a lot of brothers. You don't know where they from, but it's That's our job, to teach all the human families of the planet Earth. Another thing, we never used to call brothers power rules. That's some new stuff that just swung around. Because a brother in Spanish, we used to call black, brown, yellow. That's the only seeds in the planet Earth. Black, brown, yellow, and white. There's no Puerto Rican seed, no Dominican seed, no Haitian seed. That don't exist. Question? The father did go to Pilon. Brothers, a matter of fact, what happened was, he originally taught in Mecca, and brothers went from Mecca to Medina. I know one brother from Medina went all the way up in Pilon, and I know the father sent brothers up in Pilon to teach. See, at one time, it wasn't no boundaries of where you came from. Everybody wanted knowledge. You go to Cooper, you have a lot of people coming at Cooper from all over. You go to DeWitt Clinton, you got a lot of people coming over. If they attract to our knowledge, if the magnetic attract them, they wanted to know more. So it wasn't that we had to go to them, they would come to us. Like the desert, all of a sudden brothers start coming from Queens. You know, because the teachings was out there, the teachings was like that.
What year did Allah go to Pilon, and why did he call it Pilon?
God, what happened was, I really don't know how it started, but I know that one day, one day the question was, what year did the father go to Pilon, and why was it called Pilon? I know that Medina had a lot of hard, cold, angry warriors, and the father said, this is Mecca, because this is where all knowledge and wisdom of the original man started. And Medina had brothers out there that was like, you know, so that had to be Medina. So then when you look at the other side, it was called Pilon. It wasn't called Pilon because that's what we said the devil was manufactured of. It was called Pilon because in our lessons we talked about Mecca, Medina, and Pilon. And then the desert, we could have called it the oasis or whatever. You know, but it was called the desert. And then Staten Island and all them other names, brothers went out there and they conquered it and said, this is what we call it, Lord's Island. They came back to us and said, from now I'm in Lord's Island, God. Where the hell is Lord's Island? Long Island. Oh, excuse me, peace. Any other questions?
Yeah, right here, God. How many years the father spent in Mecca?
How many years the father spent in the mosque?
Even before being put out.
Huh?
Even also saying about being put out as well.
The father was in the mosque. I really don't even want to say because I don't want to mess it up. Maybe Kalim, I know somebody that could answer that better than I could. But what happened was, the way the father told it, right, everybody say the father wasn't no, drinking. The father, they played with him. He said, son, I was doing a service. I was working on the elevator. And they came to me and said, yeah, Brother Clarence, come on up here and minister. And they did it in a joking manner. And when the father went up there, he was always into his lessons. So how he used to talk with us, I mean, even with us, at that day and time, he used to say, you got to show and prove. You got to manifest yourself. You got to build what? To be born. See what I'm saying? The father had a unique way of talking, a unique way. He would call everybody son. You know, I'm 49, and it's hard for me to call a young brother son. The father called us son, you know, at his age. He said, son, you got to do this and you got to do that. You know, and now I'm 49, I still don't look at myself as calling anybody son. Kalim does it freely. All right, but myself, I'm saying that's how he taught. And the father was one who took his time and say what he said. If you ever listen to the tape of the father, he speaks slow and he says what he says. You know, where you could understand it.
Question. Peace, God.
Peace.
If there's one thing that you can tell us right now that you can remember about the father that stands out in your mind, what would that be?
That he was a father. That ain't no other father I had was. He was, I'm telling you, my daddy I'm saying my daddy because that's the way I look at it. My daddy lived around the corner in the last building along with A-Alarm, B-Alarm, and his other family. And my father was not considered my father. My father was considered my daddy. Allah was a father to all of us. And I'll tell you something else that make him unique too. Is that if, like Kalim said, if you had a problem, you had a problem, you had a problem, the way the father would resolve the problem, when he get through, all three of you problems was resolved. If you went into a room and say this brother did something, okay? When the father got through speaking of what he did and how he did it and the way he did it, all of us would feel like we did it. Now that's hard to say, but that was the truth. An example was a situation with a sister who was a slow learner. All right? Everybody came out that room feeling like they was in that situation with that particular sister. All right? When you go into, like I said, when I went into Mattawan and I saw the father, the first thing I say is, who this little man? To myself. Because that's how your mind runs. Your mind says things to you that your mouth don't. But when I left out there, I knew that Allah was God. And nobody could shut my mouth up for a long time. I just kept on running. Because the knowledge was there. That whole day, let me tell you something. When I went up there, I was supposed to be a vegetarian. I took a lettuce, tomatoes, and cheese sandwich with me. The father said, I don't know about y'all something, I'm going to have me some chicken. And he told us that chicken make you swift, and fish is brain food, and beef make you rough and tough, because that's what you need, in order to survive. So he said, son, you sure you don't want no chicken? And I was persistent with my lettuce, tomatoes, and cheese. You know what I mean? And I ate my lettuce and tomatoes and cheese, but the father told us what everything was about. See what I'm saying? It wasn't that I left there, I was saying, well, I'm going to have me a piece of chicken. My whole thing was that I gained knowledge by saying, no, I'm going to have my lettuce, tomatoes, and cheese. And then he said that if you're a vegetarian and you get shot, your body is just like a leaf. The bullet tears through it and tears everything out. If you eat beef, when you tear, you got some type of like a pull, right? Some type of substance, your cells are stronger. So you're able to withstand that. And the father told us that all of us would get a bullet, whether it's a mental bullet or a physical bullet. That's how he taught us. So everybody was looking for, this my bullet? Is this my bullet? And when the father wasn't here, we used to talk about the mothership. We getting righteous so that when the 144 be taken on the ship, we would be those ones. We would outshine the Muslims. Father said, son, the mothership is the mother hip. See what I'm saying? That's how he taught us. He brought us back down that this is a reality. All of this, what we do is a reality. What's up there is down here. Sun, moon, and stars, sun, moon, and stars. He said, but we can't deal with that. A matter of fact, like brother said, well, what did he think about, like, another God? He said, son, let me tell you, with all the suffering that the black man has suffered down here, if I do die and go to heaven, and there's a God up there, my question to him is why he left us out. If you read the Bible, every nation have had somebody righteous come to them, uplift them out of their burden. Not the black man in America. Until the Father came. Elijah didn't even do a good job. See what I'm saying? But Allah did, because all of us are here to bear witness to it. So that's the difference. Any other questions?
Why would some of the Muslims taught that the Father was a hypocrite? Because,
Let me tell you something.
repeat his question.
He asked, why does the Muslim teach that the Father was a hypocrite in his teaching, like a lot of other people do? If you believe in something, and a belief could easily be changed. If you believe in something, sometimes you become a fanatic with it. You know what a fanatic is? If I talk about Kalim, if you talk about Kalim, I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to beat you up because Kalim don't do no wrong. See what I'm saying? And you got a lot of people that when Elijah went home and his son broke up the Muslims, they be turned crackheads and everything else. Now they supposed to withstand the age of time because that's the way Elijah taught them. But if you weren't strong enough to hold yourself up, you would distill back to earth. And that's what happened. You're never going to say, if somebody come to you and say Allah was this and this, you be ready to knock their head off. But the Father told us, son, it's not about us knocking our heads off with some party to come to us like that. It's about teaching the children and let us see through our seeds that we great. When a man talk, oh man, you ain't nothing. Well, I ain't nothing, that's true. But 3 generations from now, when my seeds have knowledge of themselves and your seeds don't, who's the greatest? You see, a hypocrite, when you talk about somebody's a hypocrite, most people are ready to die. That's why you got assassinations attempts, because people are so strong into saying somebody's a hypocrite, they hold it up with like they Jesus Christ. They might be the wrongest person in the world, but they feel so strong a commitment to this what they are talking about that they will kill for it and find out later on that it wasn't right. Like Imam Isa. Yeah, like Imam Isa. That's a good example. You know, it's like a lot of people. The Muslims have come to us and say, y'all are our sons now. And we got claimed by a lot of people in the street. Y'all are our sons now. Y'all sons for what? You got knowledge in yourself. That's what you need. Whether you go good or bad, that's left up to you. You're the individual. See, every tongue got to stand up on its own body. You see what I'm saying? So if all of a sudden I go wrong, I'm not going wrong because my teaching was wrong. I was going wrong because I walked that knowledge, that ledge, but I couldn't stand up to it. And the Father used to say, son, all of you going to go under something to stand up for it. That's why we don't have no remorse with brothers who go to the institution. They go to jail and come out and say, I'm God. That's a blessing for them. It's not a blessing for us. The Father told us if you owe debt to society, you better pay it. And brothers talk, man, I ain't going to jail. But if you owe debt to society, you got to pay it. There was a lot of the firstborns, as quiet as strong as they was, that went against the Father that me as an outsider, I wouldn't have never do that. Father told us, son, stop doing this and stop doing that. Yeah, Allah, I stopped doing it. Find the brother right in front of the Father, looking on, I ain't fucking around, I ain't messing with no nine, you know? But it shows. So even though you lie to everybody else, you ain't lying to yourself. And another thing with Barry, to bring that back to you, like the rest of the nation, a man is judged by what he say out his mouth. So if you tell me you're going to do something, word is bond don't need to be said. If it comes back that you didn't do it, the Father used to tell us 1, 2, 3, take knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Right? It don't take 7, 8, 14, 50, 100. He said, if all 3 of y'all make a plan, you got knowledge, you got wisdom, and you got someone there to understand it. Now, if all 3 of us make a plan to meet tomorrow at 3 o'clock, this is simple. And all of a sudden at 3 o'clock, one of y'all don't be there, then me and the other one, we go to the movies. We change our plan because the plan was set into motion. Word was born when we said we would do that. Now, when we see the brother later and he said, oh, I got held up on the train, we understand that. But it didn't affect our plan. We're not going to wait out there and keep talking about, man, the brother ain't come, what'd he do? I'm going to hurt him because his word ain't born. It ain't about that. And the Father taught us never kill your brother. He said if you got to do something with somebody, put their leg between the curb and the sidewalk and do a dance. And let that man know that he's suffering his own iniquity. But you talk about, I'm going to kill him. Kill what? Kill what? Another life? Question. God, I couldn't tell you how it started. I came into it, and the brother just taught me the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, the mathematics like that. That's how he taught it. Okay, at this time I'm going to say peace, God. Peace. But before I do that, mathematics and alphabet are our language. That's the only thing that the Father said he ever gave us. He said the lessons came from the monks. He said, so the lessons are free-handed to all the nations in the world. But your mathematics is something that we only keep among ourselves. It's supposed to be our language that we're supposed to communicate with each other. Not go outside and talk about, yeah, God, did you see the powers have truth? And all that type of stuff. It's not meant for that. It's for us to communicate through each other, like a language within the nation. Peace.
Thank you, Umla. Peace, God. Now, when I said we're going to have a history of the Father, I asked his brother, Allah, I said, Allah, I want you to come and speak, because you knew the Father before he was the Father, you know. And he said, okay, I'll come. He said, but what you need to do is get my sister. He said, big sister know all our history. And we have the privilege of having big sister here to come share about the Father. And I give you his heart, Bernice.
Hey, little brothers and little sisters, listen here. I haven't seen an interview in a long time, and most of you babies that I don't know too many people. But I know that you don't know much about Allah. I know the young brother who started off with him when he was going through hell. He was a young kind of man like this. He couldn't be bought. That's why he's dead today. And the only reason I'm here to tell you about anything because I was with him that night. And he wasn't afraid. He had more courage than I did. I had to go 28 years and get close to God to get what I have to talk about my brother today. Because when my brother was killed, he wouldn't go in anything if I didn't go in there. I would follow him any place. But you know something I didn't follow him in? When he became a Muslim. I went there because I'm a black woman. I was raised up an all black baby. When I came out in the white world, that was confusing for me because I've learned from the black. I learned who I am. I know who I am. But if they killed my brother, what you think they would do to me? It's not easy to give up your life. But he could do it. Now I want to tell you about my brother because the things that's written about him, most of what y'all wrote is the truth as you know it. This was not a bad man gone good. This was always a good man. You never heard anything wrong about this man. Where is it? Can you find it? But when he was killed that morning, Barry wrote his bit, early many arrests, prostitution, all of this. It killed my mother. And what he did to the rest of us. We were listening to the radio. Everybody had a pencil and paper. We wanted to know. Hey, where are you? Something else you don't know. When my brother was killed that morning, I was supposed to be with him. He would let me go home with him, but I got in a taxi to follow him. Got to 121st Street, 7th Avenue. Hey, take me to Cypress Avenue. When I got home, he was already dead. My mother's on the phone. Where you been? Take it easy, Mama, I will report. You was with him? Yes, Mama. Well, he's downtown. Then I never 6 bullets in me, had 7. I've never seen nobody dead unless he's in the coffin already. But when I got down there that morning about something to 5, there was one little wagon out there with one little police officer. A little wild wagon, you know, with the green and white. Not a little first lady, you know what I mean? You walk in, my brothers heard me, all 6 came out and said, "Sis, he's dead." You know how close I was to my brother? I'm his only sister. He never even said a curse word around a woman. He loved them. He treat all women like he treated sisters. And when somebody say those terrible things about my brother, and I heard that he was dead, and I thought I could never get my little black hands on him. But the little new brothers found me in the Bronx and told me that he was alive, and now I'm alive. I've been writing this book for years, baby, because he think he got it going on. That morning, he had no business in New York City. When I called him downtown, he was in his office, up here, over here wearing little dirty T-shirts and things. Nothing strikes fear in the people in Harlem like the 5%ers, the greatest little guys that ever lived. You want nothing but a bunch of babies. And you hear from my brother, you know my brother, Put was just 41 years old when he died, when he was murdered. That you didn't know, baby, but you was a baby yourself, so you wouldn't know how old he was. I was 38, I just made it. Okay? Okay. One thing my brother always says, sis, I don't care about what they say about me as long as the truth. And I read some of the papers that the brothers brought. You do a good job on it. But some things I had to come and tell you. He never was that kind of guy. You find it anywhere but what Barry said. I want you to go back and look at the paper that Barry wrote and see like it's a little play or something. Because when I first started reading, I used to get angry. But then, when I really thought, I said, listen to them. Nobody in the right mind could believe what he said. I want to tell you something else. I'm the kind of one to tell you in a minute, tell the police, tell you something, my brothers and sisters, you talking about telling them, they probably be the one going to take me off. But they didn't take him off. It was 2 or 3 little piece of garbage who filtrate the little thing. You have to understand, I was in there all the time. The morning my brother was murdered, we couldn't even go in there, but that was Barry. But the little brothers and sisters that was with him all the time couldn't go in there. Don't that tell you something? And how can anybody believe anything what Barry said? If you've never seen anything about this man, and all of a sudden you see something, think about it. Just think about it. I said you couldn't buy him. Now let's talk about the movie, because somebody asked about that. In the 60s, at the Armory, I think it was in 64 or something like that, my husband drove to take me and my little children to the Armory up there. We had heard about a little scuffle early that morning. I didn't know it was my brother. When I got there, I just thought I'd see him, but I had everybody coming. But he didn't come. Cassius Clay came in his place. They wouldn't even let him in that morning. There was a scuffle. They didn't hurt my brother, but they tried to hurt his little father. And some of you know this. And then somebody asked about why he wasn't there. The boy only knows the truth. When Mr. Mohammed said that he was supposed to speak that day, he wouldn't go around telling everybody in the family, telling all his little followers that he's going to speak if he wasn't. But he always loved Mr. Mohammed. And you have to understand he had a family. And he was told by some of the bad guys in the movement that if he worked for anybody white, that they would kill him. Hey, he says, sis, I got a family. I'm not thinking about it. I know Puss. When he offered him all that money, when he came down to that hotel down there with Barry at that time, he said, sis, you're the best sister in the world. Never did anything to shame mama of us. He said, I can make you rich today or tomorrow. I say, but I can't take no money from them people. They say they don't give me if I don't. He said, they want me to tell these children that everything I taught them was a lie. He didn't know how to lie. And everything you hear about him is a lie. You gotta prove it. I write my own book, baby.
Go ahead.
I'm the type of lady that call names. God left me for a reason, because I'm supposed to be gone. And it have not been easy. It killed my mother, destroyed my brother. They always say I was a strong one. This is the first time I have been able to talk before anybody. I'm a very bashful lady. This is not even me. Today is 28 years to the day I'm supposed to be gone. I had to find something else, baby. I had to find the master. Because it's not easy. When you know the truth and you do the truth, we were taught to fear nobody but God. We from Danville, Virginia. We listen to our mother and father. You hit your kids today for writing. They drag your hind off to jail. You gotta drag me off to jail then, baby. I'm not going back on it. Because what was good for us is good for the children of today. I don't read papers no more, baby. I write my own paper. I went back to school because I'm a very bright lady. I got a mind. But you know, when your children see that you're raising them up, they think that mama didn't go to school, so they don't see you go to school. But when they got that education, I went and got mine. for the simple reason I always know how to do it, but you got to have a piece of paper for everything now. I'm saving my money, baby. I pay my tithes. I want my own doggone business to give my people jobs. Like I said, we learned from each other. We didn't know anything about any other race. But I always figure if they walking up like me, they're human. We love everybody. Who in the world love people like we love them? They do terrible things up. We love them. That's our nature to love, our Lord's God. My brother stopped letting me walk with him. And you children too. Remember he wouldn't let you walk with him no more? Remember this? But y'all would have walked with him and he'd be alive today. But he got so mad with you because you know what he said to me? Stay as far away from me as possible. I'd run and jump up on him anyway. He's my brother. I know it hurt you when he died. And I know you felt bad. But what could you do? I got in the taxi to follow him home and I got down at the head and take me like that. He said, you need to be his sister. Hey, you know when I was a little girl, my brothers are older than me all, but one, that's Harry, the one y'all call what y'all call him. We got the same birthday. But every time something happens, you know who they come to get? Me. You know, you guys couldn't just jump up and do what y'all want to do, but the woman could. You do something to my family, I'm slapping you first. I don't care what color you are, because it's always been that other color. Okay? It's always been the truth. And we were a close family, darling. A very close family. Wouldn't even know how to treat you bad. I was so proud of him when he was so young. I used to see mothers and fathers coming to my little brother, tell him to talk to my kids out of hand. And I used to watch him. I was so proud of Mama. Hey, you know what to say to kids, Mama. You're not going to kid himself. Always take care of me. Jumped in, swim, and saved me out of some water. I was trying to take him down with me, baby. You know what I mean? I wasn't trying to. He was a little boy then. Look at him. 1960, he came out of the service. At this time, how the black man to go in the United States Army was private first class. He was private first class. You know something he told me? They put his wife in the projects one day before he came, out all those years. And he was on the front. Okay. And he said, sis, he said, if there be another war, now I'm telling you the truth about it, somebody had to say right. He said, I would talk to the children, I would try my best to keep them out of it. He said, we went overseas fighting people that had never did anything to us. He said, education is where it's at. Our mother was a school teacher. Everybody in my family teaches school. Principals and all that. Yeah. My mother's first teacher I've had. Okay, when she didn't live in Marysville. Okay. This boy always had a mind. He only had two little friends and coming up. We don't get to meet too many friends, you know. Your family thing is which we raised. My mama allowed nobody in anybody's house raised us. When we went out, we already had our raising. Mama said, I don't care what nobody do. Just don't you do it. I was always a person. Someone lied to me and caused me to sort of leave my brother running away to the Bronx, somewhere I thought was in Connecticut. The affairs of the heart, something, baby. And mine was broke. I mean, I've been just a lady without a man for all these years. It's nice. I never had but two in the first place. Yeah. It's really nice. If they can't whip the kids and keep them in the line, we don't need them no way, because they put y'all in jail now. We got to fight for this, baby. We got to rally around this here. Okay? I mean, if you take the teachings from the children like God said, that's why we had such wonderful kids. Why they don't like it? Why they don't like it? My mother had sole custody of us. When my daddy decided he wanted to get rid of his wife and his 7 children, his 1 girl and his 7 boys, he got rid of all of us. You know, I was crazy about my father. I was the only girl. And my mama was just my mama. She's supposed to love me. That's my mama. But I found out he didn't care nothing about me. He gave up his daughter, his wife, and all his sons. But my son was crazy about their mother, baby. They took good care of her. You know, she would be here alive today. But those 4 heart attacks they had, she couldn't take it. To have somebody lie on your children like that is enough for anything. And I want you to know Whitey could not come up here and just do that by himself. He had to have a little help. Yeah. Like I say, I don't care anything about the ones who killed him, about the children who betrayed him. I just want Barry. I just want him. He's the one who wrote those terrible things about my brother. He hated him. I used to see him looking at my brother in the glare, man. What a passion. As you notice, he started wearing them old dirty clothes in Harlem. I still got the clipping of the Amsterdam News. A man who always was with him knows these things didn't happen, but he wrote the dirty part about it. First I'm reading the paper, I think, you know, oh, this is good. He's an early mini arrest. Woo! Find it. He went to, the little brother was talking about Matterhorn State. We all went to Matterhorn State. We went up there every time it was time to go, busload. A couple of guards told me, said, if you don't get him to change his views, we're going to keep him here for the rest of his natural life. I said, if you think you can do that, you do that. About a couple of months later, I get a letter, they had returned him to the tombs. You know, but he was there a while. There he was. He was up there teaching the kids. You know they wanted him out of there. They couldn't kill him there because everybody was going there. Everybody. You know, sometimes I sit home and I think, and I didn't know this, the wonderful job y'all was doing down here. I really didn't. I'm over in the Bronx, grieving because Barry was dead and I couldn't do nothing. And I slacked up on my book and everything. And then, one of the little brothers said, when he comes, he's gonna come for me. And you better do that too. I'm not gonna do nothing drastic to him. I'm gonna make the fool out of him that he is. You don't mess with Mrs. Smith's little son. Took away my brother's brother and my brother. He had a wife and children. Did he care? No, he didn't care. Well, you know, in a way, I don't fault him. Because he's the devil. I don't fault him for the simple reason. Everybody that ever heard him listened to him. He couldn't be the man. Y'all wouldn't love him like this if he had been the man that they said he was. You see what they did? They got everybody's name in the book. Your man ain't never did nothing to nobody to wipe his out. But y'all keep things going, you know. I keep up with you. I don't come out very much. Because I had to do my own thing. And like I said, I had to go all the way to the master. I've been through stuff. I met somebody that can't tell me anything. Fear is something that we were not allowed to have. Not at all. And now I even have something, to me, even greater than that. I got the whole government against me and the white police officer where I live. I did something unheard of. I got them out of retirement and put them on trial and won and sued. From then on, they try to do my children in. They can't do anything to me, but they're to my kids. But that's going to be all right, too. Because I'm never going to be a bad woman, baby. I've always stood up for what I want. That's why my brother always had me walking away. But I hope a little bit of this has happened. Put somebody's mind at ease when they're asking questions about the movement thing. To tell somebody, put somebody out of something and tell them you can't work for nobody. Sweetheart, now, you know, you got to understand this. I could have went in there with my brother. But that, you understand, I had a family, me and my husband was separated, and I'm the type, baby, that if I say I can take care of mine, I'm taking care of mine. I had a job. And you know yourself, if you hate somebody so much, you can't work for nobody you hate. And that's the truth. Now I get everybody on that. So, since we didn't have no jobs to give them, don't come telling me to hate nobody. The Lord said, you know, that certain things you have to keep to yourself. You know, if you're with your enemy, you go along with it, because if you don't, it'll kill you. But when you get out there, you can do some. Are you hearing this? Because it's not me, right? I've been around. I'm here. I'm still here, baby. I live in this place they call the South France. People say it's tough over there. It's wonderful over there. They love me over there. But in 1989, they destroyed me over there. I'm just saying here, early destroyed lady. If say for instance, if something happened, I called the police, they were right there for my help because they had known us for a long time. I could call one now, baby. They wait till they kill me, and then they won't come. I went by their law and won. I always figure if you have a beef and you go to court, you win. It's squashed, though. Ain't that what you said? Not with me. They did everything to me. They even killed my son. They put my son in jail, fine boy like that. Took his muscles out of his legs, blinded, and rendered helpless in all but one arm. They did that to my baby. I went to Albany, asked if I could bring him home. They said yes. But they didn't I'm waiting for him. They didn't let him come home. They sent him to a place way up state and did all this to him. Took his blood, killed him, didn't let me have him. November the 27th, 92. He died February the 10th, 93. It was a hard thing. I didn't cremate him, but he was buried in the cemetery. Plot 15. You know, it's hard. And mother always figured she's going, for a kid. But hey, every day I cry. Every day. I know when my mother went through it, but they killed hers. They killed mine. What difference is it? All because of something I did. But I'm not changing nothing. I'm still working at it. I can't bring it back, but one day I will see it. Some of you know my son Claude. Some of you know Lee. Sergeant in the United States Air Force, the age of 20, went to 2 colleges, working in the post office, working in the sanitation department, waiting one for the other. Had a wife and 3 kids. They don't care what they do to you. All this because of what I did. I want you to know, I ain't in love with everybody. We're not all the same. You have to listen to the spirit. I can't say anything or do anything mean to nobody, but they still do things mean to me. But I don't take no stuff. You can say anything to me. As long as it's nice. I haven't always been like this because I used to didn't mind fighting. I still like to fight once in a while, My son was teaching me karate and all like that. My brother Put was teaching me karate and all like that, too. You're only one girl here. When they take away your children, take away your privileges, that's kind of hard. You don't have to be locked up in jail. I'm locked up in jail right down here. Okay? The little 4-room apartment. All of a sudden, it ain't big enough for me anymore. I need some space. I need somewhere where I can plant a garden. Over there at the Patterson house where I live, you can plant some flowers, but they won't let you plant no food. So we have to buy our food from everybody, right? I'm making me a garden in my living room like I used to have. They told me that I couldn't do that before. But I'm going to do it this time. I know a little more now than I know before. Such as my rent is paid up. Once in a while, I have to say something to make it last because that's my thing. But inside, I'm hurting. I hadn't seen my sister-in-law Dora in 28 years until I went to Brooklyn, when was it, 2 months ago? Yeah. See how long that was? And I thought she'd be here today so I could see her. I wasn't going to say anything. I was writing a little speech for my brother, you know. But that little sweet fellow over there and that little sweet fellow right here, they said that since I know about them, they know how bashful I am. And I don't like to brag, and I don't like to say, but I do. You know? But my brother was like poor Larry too, you know. He'll be all over you. You know, such a good guy. I don't like it when people tell lies on my brother. I'm gonna have trouble when my book come out. But like I said, I know somebody. I'm more afraid of God than I am anything that I can see. You know, all spirits are not the same. I always know when I'm not around the right spirit because things go cold. I try to always be in a place when other people come in because if I walk in there and I'm warm in places full of people, and it's warm in there, then I know that I don't have no enemy. But if one comes through the door and I get cold, I don't have to watch everybody in there because I know where he is. Do you understand that, baby George? Because that's the way it is. I've been in the Holy Book for 30 years now. I know everything. I know everything. It ain't either when you ain't got no money and then these white people got all the places to live. And then you don't have no jobs and the food they got is gone. Then all of a sudden, you got a family, you think about your family, your mind just go right off. It just go like that. Go like that. That's why I had to find this thing early. Because it's something. And men more than women because they're the one who have to straddle the horse. Having all those brothers, I've learned to love the men. And I've always helped them when they have children. That's the way I am. You gotta do it. You belong to me. Like I said, before I ever saw anybody white, I was looking at black. That's why I'm so bright and intelligent and so smart. I have never in my life said a mean thing to anybody, especially one of my black men and women. I can't. I take what they say. But I don't let white people do nothing. I knock them down just fighting all the time. I can't handle that. They don't know me. See? I don't do no talking at all. Yeah, I swear this is definitely not me. Because it's hard to sit up and talk about your brother because I want to cry. But the only thing kept me going that night was that big smile he had on his face as if to say, come on and do what you have to do. It wasn't good for my family, but too. To go, someone said they had 6 buses. We had 11 Greyhound buses, 2 double-deckers. I'm right there, so you know I know because I'm the one that have got things going. And all blue cars. I said to Barry, I don't want no black cars, just the one that they make flower. I knew where to find him that night, didn't I? He should have been home with his white wife. Oh, he was down here in Manhattan. Counting the little change that he was going to give the guys who killed my brother. My brother, my mother's son. Mine. He had no rights. I'm going to do him in. It doesn't say. I'm going to do him in. I had something else planned for him, but it's not worth that. I wrote a little piece in the paper. I don't know if y'all ever saw this right after that, but he said his wife left him. I said, yeah, I guess so, because you know that you was a murderer. Because at the time he left his wife, he got himself another woman with a little baby or something, a dog. He tried to tell him about my brother. All your children belong to my brother. He said so. He wasn't nothing but a kid himself. He was more like my father than he was my brother, because he acted like my daddy. But he just wouldn't gave me up like my daddy gave up. But we made our mother proud. I bet you that. I bet you that. I never did this much to hurt my mom, all my brothers. I love them. I love them to death. I wouldn't say one thing back to my brother. If my brother tell me something, and I know they'll never tell you nothing wrong, I'd do it. Because I would have to question something that was wrong. And like I said, I couldn't go in the movement with him, and he asked me why. But that didn't stop him. When they stopped him from going in, they lied. He was supposed to speak. He got his place, spoke in his place. Now, how you gonna say a boy did something bad when they put him out? I ain't never wanted him in it in the first place. And one thing about him, if I didn't go in there with him, we never use this word, I told you so. You be heard enough, right? And a lot, nobody say that about Miss Mohammed, because Miss Mohammed is more like my father. You know, my dad didn't take no stuff. Like I said, we lived in Virginia. No cracker town. Okay? But them crackers was all right with us. Them crackers didn't bother us, we didn't buy them crackers. It's like, when you go to the store to buy something, they were invisible, right? I don't never remember saying, thank you. I remember when I went to the store to buy something, giving them the money. Maybe put the money down on the cap. That's all I remember. And I'm a lady who remember everything. So I must not say thank you, huh? I mean, hey. I don't have no long love for them. I don't put no obstacles in their way either. You stay out of my way and I stay out of yours. When I didn't know there was too many bad white people in the world till Barry came. He had destroyed our souls and families. He didn't care. He was so afraid of my brother and you little young babies here that he didn't know what to do with himself. If you want to buy something you can't buy it, well, you go on and wait and buy yourself something else. No, he didn't want that. They couldn't buy my brother, so they had to kill him. So afraid that all he had to do was say, kill, kill. You know, a picture long years ago, they said, kill, Frankenstein monster, kill, kill. That's what they thought. So proud of been here all these years, never did nothing to nobody. Got things going and everything. I watch see on TV once in a while. I said, look at them babies. But I come down this way once in a while. But I thought I should come on this day, the 13th, and sort of put your little mind at ease. He didn't live long enough to do the kind of stuff that he would have done to kill him. Don't you understand? We never heard about anybody, and all of a sudden some old white man started putting something down about you. Then you started saying about the kid. You were with him all the time. When could he did this? If he was that kind of man, he would carry you right on to hell, you know, and let you get killed with him, walk with him. No, stay with me. Stay with me. You know, they're going to kill me. Not foot. Like I said, they have enemies. Somehow, right now, they figure they took your leader that you're not a threat to them. It's just that God been raising up some more leaders. Simple as that. I won't quite do it like my brother, because I'm not quite that like that. Okay? I learned a lot in 30 years. A whole lot. A lot. But I never forgot the men to respect them at all times. They're my life. I know a lot. I can teach a lot. Like I said, I'm like my brother in a lot of ways. Education is where it's at. Where it's at. Always will be. My little granddaughter's 3 years old. I got to read the largest spelling words. You understand? Everybody knows what CAT. I'll come back to that later. I teach her how to live. How she won't be sucking. Because there ain't too many mothers teaching these kids anything. The only thing I hear them saying, well, I got to get me a job and take care. Your job is taking care of these children. Like you say, you don't have father. They do have a father. The father's there, just the instrument to give it to the job is hers. And then you get a little too tough, then we tell daddy on you. You understand that? They don't jump all over, we tell daddy on you. Oh, my mama could handle anything. She slapped me one time. I was 21 years old. Putting Doris got married. The thing that bothered me when she slapped me, I was 21 years old, married and had kids, and Doris saw it. I went to work today and the boss said, because I was crying, I want you to know this thing. Subway was 5 cents. The boss gave me $5 and told me to catch a taxi. I took the subway, kept the $4.95 for myself. I mean, baby, I'm like, 5 cents, subway. See? And I said something, looked at my mother. I didn't say nothing to my mother, you can talk back to your mama. And I just walked in and rolled my eyes at her and went up to the room. I didn't have to say nothing. This is, so help me God. I tremble when I say this. I was so angry with my mother that 12 o'clock in the day, I go up in my room. It's 12 o'clock. I'm looking out on 7th Avenue because that's where I live, 2274 up here. And I was looking in the corner so mad with her, I didn't know what to do. I took a double and there something come out the corner, a lady, looked just like my mother with a black dress on. You know the lady, the Mexican lady that got that little thing up there that they wear? Now this is the gospel truth, baby. I've been scared ever since. I wouldn't dare even think to say anything to my mother because I didn't say nothing to her then. But this lady heard something. You know, I'm trying to scream so my mother could run up the floor, but I couldn't. But I could feel the water. She came and stood right in front of me, and she said, you have to understand, I didn't say nothing to my mother. She said, if I hear you say anything like that to your mother again, I'm coming for you. You didn't have to worry about that no more, sweetheart. But I could hear my mother running up the floor then, and she just went right back from where she came. My mother knew something. I said, Mama, I didn't talk back to you. You know, I never did. She said, something scared to the death, didn't it? Yeah. That got my attention, sweetheart. I'm a hard believer. You know, like these people say, I'm from Missouri, you got to show me? I'm not from Missouri, but I like to see things, you know what I mean? Because, you know, you said, God said, try all the spirits. And I want you to know, my mother loved me. She really did. She said I was the best daughter in the whole wide world. Even though she used to put all the weight on me. When my brothers got married, I figured their wife should take some of the weight. But every time something happened, they come to me. They have to understand, I got a husband and children too. I said, Mama, don't you love me? She said, of course I love you, the one with the sense. That didn't help none at the time, baby, because they were still, when she passed, they were still calling me and they had wives. But I told my mother, God forbid, Ma, if anything happened to you, because I'm not going to take this no more. And she died. And sure enough, they came to me for everything, Harry too, for everything. They didn't want their wife to have to do nothing. You know what they threw on their sister? But they got to go to work. What do you think I was doing? Playing games? And then when you stop doing this, they act like you don't cut their heart out or something. But I was tired. And I'm still tired. Okay, I know you're tired of listening to me now. But it's just wonderful talking to you. And I'm writing my book. And one day, I'm going to give you the book. I don't want no money for the books. You understand? I just want the truth out. It's a lot. It's a lot about marriage. And I live at 308 East 145th Street. Y'all can come to see me if you want to come to see me. Okay? Okay? Everybody? Okay, all right. And I love you. And thanks for having me. Okay? Right now, right? Peace. Right now, we're going to take a little intermission break. We're going to put the Allah tape on.